Of course, by VW to shutter factories in Germany for the first time in its 87-year history. This as EU car makers lose ground to Chinese manufacturers in the race to produce electric vehicles. Let's get more with Bloomberg's EMEA Autos industry team leader, Elizabeth Berman, who covers all of this for us. Elizabeth, what does this news say then about the state of the car industry in Europe and how perilous that situation is right now?
Yeah, I would say that for the past months, really since late last year, I would say there's been a growing sense of things derailing somewhat in the European car industry, led by the slump in EV sales as certain governments removed incentives. And as things didn't quite pan out as thought in terms of the strategies laid down, and of course very costly strategies at that, these sorts of issues have been coming to the fore. Among those, VW is probably, as Europe's biggest car maker, the one that has the most work to do. And as we pointed out in our story yesterday and today as well, the company has a very particular governance setup that makes pushing through big changes, big decisions, big savings really, really hard.
And on that point then, given the ownership structure and given the role of unions and the seats that they have on the board, how challenging will it be for VW essentially to cut down or shut down those plants? How realistic is that threat right now?
Well, if history is a guide, you'd probably say not very. Lots of key top-level executives have had to vacate their seats over plans like this. So CEO Oliver Blume will be in a tough spot for the next few months. That said, even as VW continues to rake in significant profits, last year they made more than 22 billion in operating profit. They do recognize that the competition is growing in a way that they do need to make really significant changes. And one of the key issues is the overcapacity that they have, particularly in high-cost countries. Globally, the car maker has capacity to make 14 million vehicles annually. Last year they made 9 million. That's globally, of course. But the plants at risk, most at risk, would be in the high-cost areas of Western Europe. And of course, that's where VW has most of its plants in Germany, which is among those particularly high.